again. If you're new here, I am Siren Sage. I am a nomad, bus-dwelling, queer artist, musician, alien creature. I wore my nice dress for y'all this time. Now it's literally a nightie, but I am excited to be doing episode number 2. I thought about it all week, and I'm the type of person where, well, these days I try to be very conscious of not forcing things, because in a past life I was quite forceful for certain things, and I just don't believe in that anymore. Anyways, I like to wait for the right moment for things to feel, hi birds, for things to feel not forced, for lack of a better word right now. It's a beautiful day on the farm. It's a little bit overcast, which I never mind an overcast day. It's actually quite inspiring to me most of the time. I never really walk up here. I've been thinking a lot about what I want to share. I want to share everything. But there's so much, you know? I've lived a very full life thus far. I suppose I could start with, I've been working on converting the bus for around, I started in August. It is now April. So I was supposed to be leaving the mountains where I reside months ago. But as with these things, everything takes a lot longer than expected. And I'm learning as I go. I've never converted a bus before. I've never hung a door, any of those things. So there's a lot of trial and error, which is totally fine. Hi. I have all these butterflies that they come visit me every day, and they come right up to me. It's like a reminder of how beautiful things really are amongst all the chaos. But so I was supposed to be gone months ago, but that's okay. I trust the process. When I am done, or done enough to feel good about traveling in the bus, that's my plan. I have traveled a lot in my life, but I have not traveled in quite some time, really since COVID. A lot has happened unexpectedly, but yeah, I don't really have a plan. I have never really been a person. I have loose plans. I've been a person that has loose plans. But my plan is to, I think, head west. I have had dreams, these daydreams, from the heart of the desert for so long. And I've only ever driven through the desert. I've never really spent any time there. So I'd really like to go to the desert. And yeah, I don't have much of a plan. I've always been a person, I dive into everything and anything in my life all the way in, and I don't think about it too much, and I just go with my intuition and my gut and my heart. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And I've never been scared, you know? I've done some really crazy things that most people would be really terrified to do, and I love change. I crave it. Most people are afraid of change, but I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. It's just me, and then I have 2 cats who are my earth angels, and yeah, so it's just gonna be us 3, us 2 girls and the boy, and yeah, I don't know. I'm like a little nervous, but it's okay. I mean, I think all the things in life that are worth doing, you know, there's a bit of fear involved, you know, because it's something that you really probably want and you're afraid to fail. But yeah, I don't think I'll fail. I guess I've traveled a lot, but I've never driven a bus across the country. So yeah, we're getting there. I still have quite a bit to do. But next, I started working on the walls, which has been quite a puzzle, but we'll figure it out. I am planning to start playing music on the street again here soon in preparation to get ready for the road. I live in a really busker-friendly place, which is cool. But I am really been battling with my stage fright, which is so funny because I really love the stage, and I used to do a lot of stage performance, burlesque, and you know, just performance art and in general. But playing my music in front of folks is a lot more vulnerable for me in a good way. But we'll get there, and so I've been doing that. I've been practicing a lot of music. I've been working on the bus, as always. I am a self-taught metalsmith, and I'm an artist of so many mediums. I do a lot of things, but I sculpt, and I've been a seamstress since I was 6. But yeah, I've really been missing for quite some time my art because the bus has really taken over my life, and which is fine, you know, I want it to get done. But I mean, making art is literally the reason I exist. It's, without it, I'm just a floating mass. I have to create constantly, and it's like my source, you know. But the bus it's a wreck, you know, because I'm living in it while I convert it, and so I haven't had a place to work or do my metal work in quite some time, and I've really been missing it a lot. And so I found this desk for free on the side of the road where I find all of my furniture, most of my things, but it's a bit wonky, but it'll do. And I put that in the bus the other day, and yeah, I'm hoping to get back to some of my work. Not the best example because it's quite tarnished. I just pulled it out of storage, but this is a piece I made. I like to make a lot of jewelry out of old discarded materials. I end up making a lot of jewelry out of old kitchen utensils. So this was actually a brass drinking chalice at one point that I broke down and hand fabricated and cut and soldered, and yeah, so I make stuff like this. This is another piece. That's a sculpted piece. That's not really the metal work, but then this was just a fun experiment that I ended up really liking. Yeah, that's a huge part of who I am. I've been making jewelry since I was so small, and it has evolved so much. It's so cool to see that, you know, the progression. I've been a tattoo artist for over 10 years. I had a really life-changing traumatic event happen to me several years ago, and lost everything, and I completely lost myself and my will really to live. And yeah, my career was a part of that event, and I have not tattooed since, really, maybe here and there. And that's another piece of my soul that is missing. I mean, tattooing saved my life. It saved my life, and I miss it dearly, and I'm so ready to get back to that whenever those cards fall into place. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to a new life adventure. I have lived in these mountains on and off for 10 years. I'm from New York, but I've lived in the Appalachian Mountains on and off for 10 years, or a little over 10 years, and I love these mountains very much. They literally wouldn't let me go if I've tried so many times, and I am tethered. I'm tethered to these mountains. But I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I've been ready, and I've been an East Coast baby most of my life, and I'm ready to experience the West Coast and see what's going on. I think it's just started to rain. Yeah, so that will be happening in the next several months whenever I am feeling like it's time to go. I am really excited about this channel and seeing where it goes and how it grows, and meeting folks from all over the world who end up here. I like to call myself a reformed social butterfly because I was extremely extroverted my entire life. Extremely extroverted. I actually was a bit terrified of spending time with myself, and I was forced to at one point, and it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me in retrospect. And now I've come home to myself, and I've learned so much about myself that I never knew, and I really value my solitude. I spend 98% of my time alone, just me and the cats, and I never thought that I would be that person ever. And life is crazy like that, you know? But yeah, I spend a vast majority of my life in solitude. And there are times when it is very lonely in a sense. It doesn't happen very often, here and there. But for the most part, I get on really well with it. Yeah, I definitely value it. I'm going to try and enjoy the rest of this daylight. I've got some projects that I'm working on that I am excited to get back to, and we've only got probably about 2 hours maybe until sundown here. I'm a daylight fiend. I thrive with natural light, and so I'm going to savor that. And Finally got my porch back. You ever just feel like you're going insane? You never stop moving towards your dreams. Yeah, you're just not any closer. Okay. Finally got my porch back. I am making my new street sign for busking music. I am making it out of the old ceiling for my bus. This wood is really gross. And it's pretty much falling apart. So I have a feeling I might regret this in a couple months, putting this much time into this, but it's free. It's lightweight. I've got a long way to go. The thing about me is I'm crazy. I make everything super intricate and complicated when it comes to my art. But I'm learning to accept that that's just who I am. And that's a beautiful thing, even though it's super frustrating and time consuming. But embrace the chaos, right? I am making my new street sign for busking music. I am making it out of the old ceiling for my bus. This wood is really gross. And it's pretty much falling apart. So I have a feeling I might regret this in a couple months, putting this much time into this, but it's free. It's lightweight. I've got a long way to go. The thing about me is I'm crazy. I make everything super intricate and complicated when it comes to my art. But I'm learning to accept that that's just who I am. And that's a beautiful thing, even though it's super frustrating and time consuming. But embrace the chaos, right? I'm really happy to have spent more time. I am very open to any sort of questions you have for me. Please drop them down in the comments. I would love to answer them to the best of my ability, and maybe we'll do a Q&A at some point when we get some more folks here. Yeah, ask away. I hope that this finds you well, and that you can take something from it every time we meet here. And I will see you next time. Like, subscribe, share. All right, beautiful humans, be well.